Well, if you're wondering why I'm wearing a tank top, I just got done with about a 30-minute segment on TV with my friends at VSiN, the sports betting network. And to be honest, I'm just very hot and a little sweaty because I'm sitting in front of the bright studio lights, had on a button-down shirt and a blazer, and I just needed to cool off a little. I got my AC cranked up to about 65 right now, trying to get that body temperature down. Anyway, pick five, win five. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between. Welcome back to my daily betting show where it is my job to give you my 5 favorite plays in the sports betting world, guys. We have been on one lately. I told you that when our last winning streak ended, it only meant that we had the opportunity to start a new win streak. Coming off of a 4-1 day where we've made money 3 days in a row and in 8 of the last 9, I've started keeping track of my units on this show. Of course, I keep records of my bets and so on, so on. And I've kept records of my record, but now I'm actually tracking ROI units and all that good stuff. And you know what? Just to prove it, why don't we talk about what we've been? So over the last 3 days since I started keeping track of all this, we have a 108% ROI, which means we've more than doubled the money that we bet. And we are up about 5.5 units. That means that if you bet in $10 increments, then you would be up $55 just about. If you bet in $100 units, you would have profited $550. If you bet in $1,000 increments, you would have profited $5,500 and so on, so on. So yes, we have been absolutely nailing it lately. And what I need from you guys in return, because this is hard work. This is a lot of blood, sweat, very little tears during the win streak. But when we're losing, it's a lot of tears like we were a couple of weeks ago. So what I need from all of you is to hit that subscribe button. Please show me that you appreciate these picks that are coming your way. And before we do get into my picks for Saturday, hope you guys are all ready to enjoy the weekend. Do just want to put out a quick reminder, a little disclaimer: never blind tail bets. Always make sure that you are using these as inspiration and you're still doing your own research. I never want to advocate for anyone blindly putting their money up without knowing where it's going. Got that understood? Okay, let's get locked in on the bets for today's show. We are going to go and we are going to start it out with somewhere that I've completely lost my notes. Where are we going? Okay, I know exactly where we're going. We are going to the Minnesota Twins for our first pick of the show. We are taking them on the money line against the Baltimore Orioles. On the mound, we've got Tyler Wells for the Orioles. He's 6-4 with a 3.19 ERA and a .9 whip. He's been really good this season, but he's going against Sonny Gray, who's also been really good. 4-2 with a 2.50 ERA and a 1.26 whip. You got the ERA advantage for Gray. You've got the whip advantage for Wells, so you can call them just about even. But here's the big kicker. Wells has given up 20 home runs this season, 21 home runs this season, and Gray has only given up 3. And it's not as if their innings are mismatched. They've thrown almost the exact same amount of innings. So Wells is giving up way more home runs, 7 times more. And why is that a big deal? Well, here's the thing. The Twins are 8th in home runs this season, and they've been able to continue that recently. Over the last month, they're still 10th in home runs. They're still hitting the ball out of the yard. Now, the season series is split 2-2. The Orioles won yesterday. They won 3-1. The game went into extra innings, but when a game hits extra innings, I don't want to say all bets are off because obviously someone still wins and someone still loses, but it's not what you're expecting. You never go into a game and you handicap it and you think this is going to extra innings. So these have been close, but I do think that the Twins are going to get them in this matchup, particularly because of that advantage with the home runs. Gray also in his last start went 6 innings through a shutout, was awesome, really. The Twins are only 1 game over 500, but they're 26-20 at home, which tells you they play a lot better in front of their home crowd. Both teams have elite bullpens, so if one team goes up big early, I don't necessarily expect a comeback to happen. So if you're holding out for a live bet, I don't necessarily advise that. Famous last words, of course. The Orioles are 52-35, and the Twins are 45-44. Let me start that over. The Orioles are 52-35, but the Twins are 45-44. But with that being said, the Twins have a better run differential than the Orioles do. So when they win convincingly. We like them in the spot on the money line. If you're feeling adventurous, run line, but I am sticking to the money line. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2, we are going to the Astros and the Mariners. And we were there yesterday, and we said to go over, and that cashed, thankfully, because of the Seattle Mariners. The Astros did not do their part. And because the Astros did not do their part, we went over yesterday. We are going under today. We are going under the line of 7.5. Now, both offenses are just about top 10 in scoring over the last month. However, on the mound, we have, for the Astros side of things, we've got Framber Valdez. The guy is 7-6. He has a 2.49 ERA and a 1.05 WHIP. He's going against Brian Wu, who is a rookie, and normally I don't love betting rookie pitchers. However, if you take out Wu's debut, which only lasted 2 innings because he was so awful, take that out. In his 5 starts since, he's got a 2.40 ERA. So those numbers have been low. And on top of all of that, the Astros are missing Brantley, Altuve, Alvarez. They've got some serious injury problems. And I know I was talking yesterday about how their offense has still been performing. Well, we've got large enough sample size with these injuries for me to say, let's slow down the expectations. Let's lower them. And also because the Mariners have been carrying this burden so heavily. They could easily do it again tomorrow, but Framber Valdez, I expect him to give up fewer runs, and I still am expecting nothing from the Astros offense. So we are going with the under of 7.5 for our second play of the day. Our third play, and this is the most ambitious of the day, it's the Cubs money line. And at the time I'm recording this, that value is at plus 168. We are taking the Cubs at plus 168 on the money line against the New York Yankees. Now, the reason we are doing this partially is because we have Drew Smyly, who's been decent, 7-5 with a 4.10 ERA, a 1.31 WHIP. That's not awful. It's not amazing. Here's the thing. Here's why we're getting the plus money. I need you guys to bear with me here. He's going against Garrett Cole, who's 8-2, 2.79 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. The guy's been nothing short of sensational. However, the Yankees have been pretty terrible since Aaron Judge went out of the lineup. They're only 13-16 from a record perspective, and they've actually been playing a lot worse than that. During that stretch, they are the 4th lowest scoring team in baseball. Garrett Cole has been great all season, but ever since Judge went out of the lineup, and he has continued his excellent play without Judge, but even still, they're only 2-3 when he starts. And again, he has been really good. So we can go into this game expecting to get a great start from Cole and for the odds to still be in our favor because the Yankees only win 40% of the time that Cole starts without Judge in the lineup. Hopefully you're able to follow me throughout all of that. The under is definitely in play here. I believe the line is 8. I'm trying to pull that from memory a couple hours ago. It might have moved or I might just be incorrect, but the under is definitely in play. However, we are going for the throw. We're seeking the value with the Cubs at plus 168. Another big thing to look at. Remember how I said the Yankees were the 4th lowest scoring team over the last month? The Cubs are 5th in scoring. Yes, the Cubs have really been hitting the ball. They won game 1 of the series 3-0, so they would have covered the run line as favorites. We like them as underdogs on the money line for the value. That is pick number 3. Our 4th pick of the show. Guys, these guys basically deserve a mainstay. They are a mainstay. They deserve a permanent residence on the show. It's the Atlanta Braves. To absolutely nobody's surprise, took them yesterday. Of course they cashed. It was silly to give them to us at minus 105 for the money line. I mean, come on. It's the freaking Atlanta Braves. We're taking them on the run line today, and we're getting plus money here, plus 116 at the time I'm recording this. The starting pitching matchup is Spencer Strider versus Taj Bradley. Now, Strider's been really good, 10-2 with a 3.66 ERA and a 1.11 WHIP. Very strong numbers. Bradley is 5-4, which isn't the worst in the world, but he's 5-2. He's got a 5.27 ERA and a 1.38 WHIP. So we've got some pretty clear separation between Bradley and Strider. And then as far as the offense goes, it's not even remotely close. I mean, the Rays have lost 6 straight. They're averaging just 2.67 runs per game during that losing streak. Their mental focus looks gone. Their confidence and their swagger at the plate, they're just sort of checked out. They're ready for the All-Star break. And I tell you what, when you're a low-confidence team, the last thing you want to see is the Atlanta Braves. I know the Rays have made their home a fortress, but nothing matters to the Braves right now. They've won 26 of their last 30 games. They've covered in the majority of them. Over the last month of baseball, they lead the league in every notable offensive metric. They're top 2 in everything for the season as a whole. And Bradley, I forgot to touch on this. One last thing about Taj Bradley. He's given up 12 earned runs in his last 2 starts, and he gives up a home run every 2 innings more frequently than Strider does. Let me break that down. Strider gives up a home run about every 7.5 innings. Bradley gives one up about every 5.5 innings. Considering the Braves are on pace to hit more home runs than any team in MLB history, we love the Braves here. They've been money-making machines, and we're sticking with them for our 4th pick. And that brings us to our final pick of the show. Guys, I know it's a little informal today, but it's the weekend. I hope you're going to let me off the hook. Do me a favor, smash that subscribe button if you are watching this. We've been raking in the dough lately. Hopefully it continues today. We get that win streak to continue to extend. Like the video if you are enjoying it. And let's go ahead and jump into this final pick. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers -1.5 versus the Los Angeles Angels. We've got an inner city showdown, and we're going with the Dodgers. Not only are the Dodgers the better team in this situation, but they are far, far, far and away the more healthier team. You want to look at the Angels. Well, Shohei Ohtani can't throw the ball because he's got a blister on his hand. He's still been playing. He's still been batting. But is it safe to say that is it fair to say he's 100% of the plate? Probably not. If you can't throw the ball, my guess is your hand's not totally intact. Maybe he's about 80, 90% of the plate, whatever the case may be. He's not 100%. And he also can't carry this team on his own. I know that Mickey Moniak is doing his best to give Ohtani some support, but let's look at all of the injuries for the Angels. Mike Trout's going to be out for a couple of months. Stop me if you've heard that one before. Brandon Drury's day-to-day. Anthony Rendon is day-to-day. Zach Neto's out. Gio Urshela is out. And there are more guys that got injured earlier in the season and that are further down the roster that are also injured. So not only are the starters out, some of the replacements are out. It's just not a good look for the Angels team. For the Dodgers, they haven't named a pitcher. It's probably going to be a bullpen day. By the way, the Angels starter is Reed Detmers, who's decent but not amazing. Probably going to be a bullpen day for the Dodgers. Their bullpen hasn't been the best, but their offense is at playing some of the best baseball that's played this entire season. They won yesterday's game against the Angels 11-4. The Angels have lost 8 of their last 9. The Dodgers have not been on a win streak, but they've certainly been back to winning ways. Looking good going into the All-Star break. I think they want to sweep the Angels, give themselves that momentum going into that break, and then be able to start off the second half of the season and chase down the Diamondbacks with the right mentality. That was a bit of a jumbled up sentence, but what time is it? It's 3:30 in the morning at the time I'm recording this. You guys know what I meant. Guys, we have arrived at the end of the show, so let's do the recap. First pick, we're going with the Minnesota Twins money line versus the Baltimore Orioles. Next, we've got the Houston Astros and the Seattle Mariners under 7.5 runs. After that, we have the Chicago Cubs money line, big money play versus the New York Yankees. Fourth pick, the Atlanta Braves run line -1.5 versus the Tampa Bay Rays. And the fifth pick, the Los Angeles Dodgers -1.5 versus the Los Angeles Angels. Guys, I'm going to go ahead, edit this video, and get some sleep. Do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment, let me know which of these picks you like, which of them you don't. And until I see you all next time, thank you so much for tuning in and have a great day.